Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the World Championships here in 2021. It is time for the knockout stages in the main event. As quarterfinals is upon us, it's time to predict these matches. But before we do that, let us go over our results very quickly. Day 1, we got a very juicy total of 6 out of 8. Day 2, 5 out of 6, Day 3, 3 out of 7, and Day 4, the big day with 9 games, 4 out of 9 is the total. And as such, we can move in knowing we got 17 out of 30 going into this week's predictions. Wait, this isn't the versus screen for the World Championships. Oh no, you are looking at the pick'ems where we're going to be doing our quarterfinal predictions. But before we do that, let's go over the group stage results as I knock a can over. That's smart of me. Anywho, let's take a look-see at Group A. 4 points in total out of the possible 16 because we got Rogue in the right place. The rest of the group kind of was an upset as C9 went out in second. FPX bombed Day 2 of their group, and Damwonkia decimated. Meaning our crystal ball pick has kind of effed. Pressed FF early at 15. Group B. We don't need to discuss much more about Group B because we got it all goddamn right. Kind of expected the LJL not to do too well against 3 major regions. Group C. 4 out of 16, we got the correct position of PSG. Just the rest of the group kind of fell. And I'm gonna be honest, kind of sad that it fell because no one knew the Fnatic would be playing with a sub until after the picks were locked in. Kind of sad, to be honest. And as such, we saw Fnatic go out in 4th, Hanwha Life in 2nd, RNG in 1st, and that takes us into Group D, where the LPL had another representative fall in 3rd place as we got LNG's position correct, but the rest of the group went a bit differently. We had that 4-way tiebreaker here, and that 4-way tiebreaker ended in pain for Team Liquid as they went out in 4th. Mad and Genji went out in 2nd and 1st respectively. As a whole, our group stage didn't go the best in terms of pick'ems, but it sure as hell went well for EU getting 1 team out. And for NA technically as well. But with that said, let's move over to our quarterfinals, where we're going to be doing our verses from here. As you can see, I've kind of done 2 already, because this is a second attempt of recording. So let's discuss why I've gone with T1 over Hanwha Life. It's a first seed versus a second seed. There's one reason why you'd go for T1 over Hanwha Life. T1 have been far more consistent at this World Championships over, say, Hanwha Life. Hanwha has got so much tape on them. They've had a best of 5 already at the World Championships, granted, under a different sort of meta with the play-ins being slightly different to how the group stage has turned out. That means Hanwha are a lot more known in comparison to the T1 side, who's only had to play 6 games. 6 games versus 6 plus the entire play-ins is a big difference, and T1 have a bit more freshness to them. That's why I'd go with them in a bit more of a dominant fashion than a close fashion. So I've gone 3-1 to T1 just because of that freshness, just because they dominated their group realistically, and just because Hanwha aren't on the same level, even though it's a Chovy versus Faker matchup. That's got a lot of hype to it. Game 2 though, or Series 2 as I should call it, RNG versus EDG. This is going to be close. This could have been my match of the week for this week. I chose not to do this one. Reason being, LPL have kind of sucked at this World Championships. And these are the two best teams from the LPL, don't get me wrong. And we're going to lose one of them here in the quarters. But you have to realize RNG, I feel, are on the better form than EDG. EDG's had a dominant first round tournament, decimating everyone in their group, and yet they came out of the group stage in second after a poor second half. You have to realize, whatever form of EDG we're going to get, they're either going to be popping off or absolutely slacking. And that's the inconsistency of this Chinese squad, even if it's their best day. However, best of fives have favoured EDG in terms of the LPL, obviously winning out a very close grand finals against FPX, I do believe. And as such, you have to realise, maybe, and just maybe, they could win this game. But I've gone RNG, I've gone 3-2, it's going to be a fun battle, but LPL, I don't think are winning this World Championships. But one team that I do think could go back to back in terms of World Championship wins is Damwon Kia, as they face off against the Mad Lions in an MSI quarterfinal rematch, or is it semis? One of the two, but this is our match of the week, ladies and gentlemen. EU versus LCK. Is it time for some EU young blood to rise up into the semis, taking down the current world champions in a glorious fashion, like the True Shot Barrage Kazi launched into the two LNG members last week? I, for one, think this is gonna be all 5 games, baby, and it's gonna go to Damwon Kia. They're unbeatable. This World Championships, they've looked absolutely phenomenal in the games they played. Yeah, they had maybe a couple of close games here and there. Yeah, teams like Rogue could have took a game off them. They didn't, and they've decimated since. Showmaker is on another level this tournament, and as such, you have to recognize the real and say that Damwon Kia are gonna sadly beat the Mad Lions and knock EU out of this tournament. I don't know if I said if it was in a 3-2 fashion, but that's definitely what I mean. Last game, though, is going to be Gen G versus Cloud9. Oh boy, NA versus LCK. Yeah, I'm going to keep this one quite short. Cloud9 are going to win this one. That's all I need to say. Cloud9 versus Gen G is an interesting one, because Perks versus Gen G usually ends in Gen G losing. That's one reason to give it a win to C9. C9, if they play like the form they played it in on the last day of their group, where they went from 1-3 or 0-3. It was 0-3. They went and absolutely decimated FPX and Rogue to get out on a tiebreaker, granted. But yeah, you have to realize Cloud9 are strong at this current state. Blabber has not fallen to the scuttle crab too badly this World Championships, and as such, Real recognizes the Real, and C9 are gonna win 3-2. It's gonna be close though. You have to think it's a close matchup, considering Gen G went in and won quite a lot of games in that group. But as such, we are done with the group stage. We are done with predicting the quarterfinals. It is time to end this episode off here. Thank you very much for joining me, and if you enjoyed this episode, leave a like down below. Subscribe if you're new and if you want to. And I'll see you guys for the Anarchy Analysis quarterfinals breakdown between the Mad Lions and damn one Kia. Peace out.